But in terms of like morning rituals, so yeah, they definitely like sort of, I guess, shifted when I lived on my own. And I was like really like striving to get on the BBC and have a show. I would wake up, I would like meditate, I would look at my mood board, and I'd like set my lists out for the day.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you have a partner that lives with you, then you know your routine kind of shifts slightly, and you're more accommodating of who you're around. But right now, I'd probably say that my morning routine, my biggest challenge the last couple of years has actually been getting up, because before I would get up, I was very much sort of like working to my own drum. So I'd only wake up when I had to like leave the house type thing. So I'd always be like, right, I've got a meeting at 11. That means if I wake up at 9, then I can leave by 10. And that is, if I had a meeting at 1, then I wake up at 11, leave by 12, you know? And then I kind of realized like I'm not really in control of my day. I'm just playing catch up all the time. So now I try and get up. I try and be up by 8 at least. Like that, I need to be up by 8.
A bit more discipline now.
Yeah, a bit more discipline regardless of what's going on. Even on a weekend, I might not get out of bed, but being up is the main thing. And then I guess every day is different depending on what I have on that day, because kind of all my days are allocated to different parts of the work that I do. But the first thing I'll do is like, have a drink and then take my dog for a walk. So he gets the walk quite earlier on. And then then coming and sitting down to do work. Or recently I've been kind of actually trying to get a workout in earlier.
Yep. I noticed you're posting a lot of your workouts on Instagram. Yeah, I saw one with your mum recently.
But yeah, for me actually, I kind of think like my optimum is to get the workout done earlier, because then I can comfortably sit or
sets
work.
A nice tone, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and then I can just sit and work for like 8 hours, or or really sort of dedicate my mind then to the task ahead. But yeah, it definitely differs. It's kind of hard to remember now, like pre-lockdown, how it would work. But yeah, every day is different. So I guess I'll talk you through the days of my week. Maybe that would be a bit more helpful. So like pre-lockdown, Monday, up at 8, and I work till 11. And then I have a personal training session at midday. And then I go to Selector Radio, which is the global radio show that I do for the British Council. And I record that show. And then on a Tuesday, again, up by 8, then I might kind of like work from home for a while. And then I go to the BBC and I do my One Extra show there. And then on Wednesday, I need to go to RCA, which is a label part of Sony. So I consult with them on a Wednesday. So I've been doing that for about 3 years, something like that. And then Thursdays and Fridays are kind of the days that I start running out of steam a little bit, because I've had such regimented, like, 3 days of quite running around, finishing things, getting things ready for the show. So then normally Thursdays and Fridays, I am a bit slower, but it's more dedicated to the DJ and stuff or my label. So if I have a gig coming up that weekend, I'll be working stuff out for that. Or if I've got label stuff or admin stuff to do, sort of Thursdays and Fridays, it's a slower pace, but that's kind of what those days are dedicated to.
Yeah, well, and then, sorry, you were saying?
And then, weekends gigging, if I'm gigging, or, sometimes I try and get ahead of myself for the week by planning the shows.
Yeah. So it seems now you've developed more of a disciplined timetable to help facilitate and balance your work and your personal kind of well-being, so that you can have that sustainability and have that drive and keep moving forward and keep focused on all these, because you've got a lot of stuff going on, and it's I think it's great. And you mentioned obviously the gratitude, I find that so important, especially today where we're just being bombarded with so much sort of fear and things, and we tend to start looking on the other, looking at life for the half glass full. So I think, you mentioned quarterly reviews as well, like that. Is that something also that you kind of like use to kind of like reflect on what's happened over the last, say, quarter and make sure that you're keeping on target? And is that also very important?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel for me, I mean, it's something that you have to kind of remember to do, is kind of like looking back. But I'll kind of like, I'll always start before, even when the year's about to start, I'll always kind of look back on the last year and kind of see what I've achieved and the things that I'm proud of and things like that before I even write the list for the year going ahead. And then I kind of try and do that quarterly. So like breaking down like what are my aims for the next quarter. Because I think if you try and do like a year to view, you can write it all out, but then it looks like a quite overwhelming list. And I think one thing I've definitely learned, over the last couple of years is like not all plates can spin at the same time.
Yeah.
So, it's impossible for everything to be going at 100%. So, some parts of the year, like maybe because there's less gigs, January to March or April, that really is a time to really sort of knuckle down and focus on the label, or focus on creating some of the ideas that I might not have time for later down the line in summer, let's say. And maybe summer, we try and not put that many releases out because I know I'm going to be gigging and playing festivals, and that's going to take up the lion's share of my time. But I definitely think the reflection is really important, and I think breaking it down into quarters and being like, right, for the next 4 months, what are my main targets? What am I trying to achieve? Who do I want to meet with? What do I want to get out of the next 4 months? And then kind of at the end of the 4 months, looking back and then being like, did I do that? Am I going to carry it over? Yeah. Am I proud of this? Or, I did do it. I didn't even realize I did it. I forgot I wrote that down. Things like that. And I recently started working, it's been about a year now, with a life coach.
Awesome.
Because I think I started like 2019 thinking, do you know what? It's the year to like outsource. So I got like a personal trainer and I got a life coach. And I think those two things have been really quite key in setting habits, in sticking to habits and having accountability. So like with the personal trainer, you have accountability in getting your fitness in, staying on target, making sure you eat well, and just having someone to kind of keep you going, and to someone to monitor your progress, because every month you might do a weigh-in, or every month you might hit a new personal best. And I think I kind of work well with metrics in that way.
Yeah.
And numbers. I'm quite a visual person. And then in terms of, sorry, I had to turn my thing off. And then in terms of the life coach, she really, really focuses kind of on reflection. Sometimes I just want to get in there and talk about like what I'm going to do next and what I want to happen. And she's like, first, let's talk about the week. How was your week last week? How was that again? And I can feel myself actually sometimes getting a little bit frustrated. So I'm like, I just want to talk about what's going on. And she really forces me like to slow down. I can feel like it bubbling inside. Like, no, last week was last week. I just want to talk about what's happening next. And she'll be like, no, let's
help you get a bit more present, right?
yeah, she really does. So let's talk about that. And then really forces you to like, how was that gig? What was that about that gig? How did that gig make you feel? How did that what about that meeting? How, talk me through what happened. And it kind of really helps you like process things.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that reflection is something that it's so easy to be too busy to reflect, but I think it is really important, because I think we underestimate, like, time moves so fast. You do underestimate, like, okay, you might not have like achieved that big goal, but you've definitely taken some steps to get there. Or maybe that goal, maybe on reflection, you realize that you don't actually want that anymore.
Yeah.